here with Miami coach Anthony Noreen ahead of this weekend's home series against Omaha, and we will take some questions.
Coach, trip out to Denver, the Friday night game, the effort was good there. The results weren't there. Saturday night, the games kind of slipped away a little bit early, battled back a little bit, but kind of your assessment of the trip out to Denver.
Yeah, we got out there a couple of days early. I thought it was really good. Got acclimated, got some team building, got a couple of practices in. I thought after the long layoff, all things considered, of what we looked like coming out for a Friday night game against a team that's, I think they played 3 times since break. I didn't think we looked like a team coming off a long layoff. And that was kind of the purpose of, the training camp type atmosphere we had coming back and getting out there a couple days early to get some practices in and the altitude and things like that. Really hard fought game. We even fought first period, and it's 0-0. You put the best team in the best power play in the country on the power play for 7 straight minutes. You come out of it down 2-0. You could easily let it slip away, and instead we fight back and we score late. Now it's 2-1 going to the third, and probably our best push of the entire weekend, given the score of the game, but also just like the way things went. I mean, it's 2-1. And I thought that first 10, 12 minutes of the third period was our best push. We had looks, we had chances. You're in it, you're right there. You feel like you have a crack to tie it. They come down, they fire a puck that's going wide that hits a guy in the knee and goes in the net. And sometimes that's just the way things go. And obviously then you give up one with the empty net late, and you felt like, again, you're in a game where you have a chance against arguably, if not the best team in the country. And then Saturday night, I thought they did a really good job of coming out and getting to their game right away. Do I think we could have been better? Absolutely. I thought our power play was good on Saturday. That was a positive in it. We've got to get our penalty kill back going. I think when we were, giving ourselves a better chance in these games, it was a combination of those two things. And I thought Bruno was excellent Friday, gave us a fighting chance. And then, Saturday, I thought our best period was the third period. So just from a conditioning standpoint and evaluating, there certainly was no quit, and we certainly fought till the end. It's a good team. You're going to have to execute and capitalize on pretty much, a high percentage or all of your chances against them, and you're really going to need to get a great goaltending performance to have a chance. And, I thought, again, it was tight for most of that series. We've got to get better. We got to be better. I think we got to coach better. And there's some areas within our game that we need to clean up for sure.
You mentioned Bruno. He ended up getting, I think, the NCHC play of the week, the one save that he had, I think, in the late second period Friday night. And he did give your team a chance to win. What is it about, I know you weren't a goaltender when you played. What is it about goaltending? You would think after a long layoff it would be tougher to be sharp. And he was as good as he's been all year Friday night. Yeah,
and I think Size has done a good job with those guys coming back, getting right back into their game flow in a couple weeks of routine of some obviously practice, some goalie sessions, some specific video for those guys. And then for Bruno, I thought it was just really a mindset thing. I thought, I could feel it from him kind of, and you get that with certain guys as you lead up to a game, just like a little bit of a confidence and an air and he was feeling good about his couple weeks of preparation going into it, and I thought it showed certainly on Friday night for him.
And with the Saturday night game then coming back out and the conditioning, you mentioned that. I know that's a big thing that you want to harp on too. So with the altitude, the conditioning, back-to-back games for the first time in a month, how do you think you guys kind of handled all that?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I didn't love, and this isn't a player or structure thing, I didn't love we maybe looked from an output perspective, probably in like the middle frame of the game. I thought we had a good start. First 10 minutes or so were good. Then, I thought probably the middle portion from that point till the end of the second. And then I thought we had we had good legs, good drive. I don't want to say it's easy. It's easier when they've kind of got that big lead. But I certainly thought there was some jump from a lot of guys right till the end of that series. And again, for us, it's get right back to it. Obviously, a way shorter turnaround here for games, and that's something we're going to continue to harp on. Like every game is a playoff game for us, so we've got to make sure that we're at that level of intensity, we're at that level of conditioning, and that's something as a program we will continue to push and harp on, and that's going to be for the rest of the season, off season, and moving forward. Just how we're able to keep up and maintain physically.
As we move forward now, Omaha coming into town, this will be the first crack that you've had to coach against a program or against a team that we've already played once. Now, this will be the second go-round with these guys. So what did you learn from the first go-round against Omaha?
Yeah, I mean, I think a lot like the other teams in the league, they're very, very good. It starts with their goaltending. I thought their special teams were really good against us, and they just do a really good job of putting pressure on you. With their forecheck and offensively, I think they do a really good job protecting the middle of the ice defensively. Just a really good team from their goaltender out, well structured, organized. And I think if there's any game we've had a really bad taste in our mouth about that we've played this entire year with that Saturday night game in Omaha. To your point, there's not many times in sports, life, whatever it might be, where something like that happens and you get a chance to get a second crack or a third crack or whatever it might be at a team. And again, these games are, as much as games are extremely important for us, the other team wants and needs the same thing. So they're coming in with a plan. The points are extremely important for them. And again, we're going to need to be sharp. We're going to need to have a good start. We're going to need to be on our game, and we're going to need to, that they're a team that took advantage of. It wasn't like that 8-0 game we had 50 breakdowns, but we had breakdowns, and they took complete advantage of them. So we got to stay out of the box. We got to be detailed, and we need to work.
Staying out of the box, very important. It doesn't seem like your team is an overly aggressive, overly physical game, yet the penalty minutes are among the most in the nation. What do you do mindset-wise to kind of combat that?
Yeah, I mean, obviously what you want to eliminate is like stick penalties, and if there's a retaliation penalty or a selfish penalty, I don't think anyone would watch our team and say, man, that team's dirty or that team's chippy. Listen, there needs to be that fine line between being highly competitive but also being smart and putting the team first. And I don't think – I'll be honest, obviously we get the 5 on Friday. We were much more displeased with some of the stick penalties of maybe a reach or a hook on Saturday. I mean, it was unfortunate, just the timing of that penalty. It was unfortunate, maybe the matchup of a bigger guy versus a smaller guy. And again, I understand both sides of it. They gave their explanation as to why. A lot of times you're not going to agree with that. That's just kind of the way that it's going to go. And then at the end of the day, you need to do, those situations are going to happen. You still have to kill it off. That's part of the game.
Well said. Finally, injuries. I had one in Friday night's game, Michael Feenstra, but you've had some time now to try to get some guys back. So where do we stand heading into?
Yeah, we're getting close. Some of the guys that were out and have been out for a really long time are getting close. They're still, probably a little bit game time decision for this weekend. But as we've talked about it's been exciting to see Max Dukovic on the ice. It's been exciting to see Dahlmeyer in the net and taking some action. I mean, those are obviously guys that we leaned on heavily in the early going, and to have them out has been a factor. So it's been nice to see them going. We think with Feener it shouldn't be a long-term thing, thankfully. Obviously, at the point you don't know when you saw the hit, seems like it should be something he should be able to bounce back from rather quickly. And obviously, we want to get healthy and give these guys a chance down the stretch.
Here with Michael Quinn ahead of this weekend's series against Omaha, and we will take some questions.
Hey, Michael. So freshman year, but you're halfway through. So a lot of times people will say, once you kind of gotten through that halfway phase, you're not a freshman anymore. So kind of how do you feel that whole first half of the season and getting into the second half now?
It was great. It gave me some time to get comfortable with classes, living here, the guys. But, I mean, it was a really easy transition with the guys that are in the locker room, the coaching staff. They made it easy for me to be comfortable, and I feel like it's kind of led to me being able to develop and get better as a person and player.
What was your path to get to Miami, to Oxford? I mean, what was it first like? When did you first get to campus, like maybe as a younger kid, to see everything here and make that decision?
Yeah, well, I was uncommitted last year playing juniors and got to come out on a visit. Loved the campus. My sister's actually a student here. She's a sophomore. So, I was a little bit familiar with it, but getting to campus as a student, beginning of this year, it was amazing. Campus is beautiful. Got set up in the dorms and everything. It's good setup. But yeah, it was great.
As far as the transition, you mentioned it's been kind of easy. How about the playing side of things? So going from one level of hockey to another, that step up, what was that like for you?
Yeah, I mean, it's a whole nother level. Guys are bigger, stronger, older, faster. Everything's just better at every aspect of the game. So, it took a little bit of adjusting, especially going into conference play and then CHC. It's just a whole nother level. But once you get a game, 2 games under you, like you start to pick it up pretty quick. So it's been good.
Coming off of an NCHC trip to Denver, so your first time out there, what was that experience like playing at the altitude? Had you ever gone through anything like that before?
No, I've never played at altitude, but that team's really good, and it showed in the weekend. But I've heard a lot about it. It was a great place to play. I think it was a good weekend for us to play against a team like that. That's always at the top of the rankings and competing for national championships.
The team results haven't been there, I'm sure, like everybody is hoping for, everybody's working towards. For you personally, you picked up your second goal on Saturday night. So how do you kind of play through these, trying to get to that next level and do what you had the success you did Saturday night?
Yeah, it's tough as a team to see the results. I know it's frustrating for anyone, but I think the guys are really happy with the process. Like, we're working hard every day. We're pushing ourselves to become better players, to become a better team, and I think it is starting to show on the ice, especially these last few weekends we've gotten to play. Like, we're playing better, and I think the results are going to come. And for my results, like the goal and everything, I think that just comes from our practice on the power play. Like, we're starting to click, we're starting to understand each other better. We just know where we're all going to be at, so it just makes it easier being out there getting the results.
On the defensive side of things, you were out there with Bruno Braveras this past weekend. Friday night especially, he made some ridiculous saves. So what's it like when you see your goaltender out there just giving it all up there and making highlight reel saves?
He was unreal. I mean, it gives you the confidence first and foremost. Like, you can be aggressive and play defensively, and we had a lot of defensive breakdowns, and he came through really, really big for us this weekend.
Yeah, he definitely made some highlight reel saves. Finally, your time in the USHL last year, you played against Coach Noreen's team. So what was it like for you as an opposing player against Coach Noreen, and now that you get a chance to play for him? Can you kind of compare those two?
Yeah, I mean, his team was always really fast, really offensive, so it was really tough to play against them. I mean, I think our team was definitely a little bit better last year. We were pretty good, but it's awesome playing for him. Like, he's really good at relaying messages and really getting guys to understand what he wants us to be doing. And I mean, I think it shows with how much better we've gotten from the beginning of the year.